Would you believe that the world's heaviest pumpkin weighs 1,237 kg? Wow! It's equal to the weight of a large truck. I can't even believe that pumpkin really exists. So how did people grow it? And why is its size and weight so awesome? To understand clearly, don't miss any details in today's video. Giant pumpkin farms are grown and harvested this way. Of course, creating a pumpkin as heavy as a car is not simple, because regular pumpkin seeds cannot produce a giant pumpkin. Giant seeds are needed, but achieving great weight requires superior genetics and many other factors. Garden growing space is important. Each garden should be about 1,000 square feet. This area sounds quite large, but is essential for plant growth. Avoid shady areas and choose a site with a well-drained surface. Growing giant pumpkins requires starting early. Seeds should be sown individually and started in pots around the end of April. After about 10 to 14 days after sowing, the plants will grow leaves and be planted in the garden to have more open space. Plants can be protected from late spring frosts using floating row covers, cold frames, or small greenhouses. Pumpkins with shallow roots should be watered slowly with at least 1 inch of water per week if rainfall is insufficient. More water may be needed on hot and windy summer days, so watering should be done in the morning or early afternoon. Overhead sprinklers are effective, however wet leaves increase the risk of disease, especially angular leaf spot, bacterial blight, and powdery mildew. Therefore, watering at the base of the plant is a way to prevent pests for your pumpkins. Once the pumpkins have fruited and reached volleyball size, cut them all back to just a single pumpkin per plant. The less competition for nutrients, the higher the success rate of achieving giant-sized pumpkins. Because of the size and rapid growth of these pumpkins, pruning the vines and roots is important. This will prevent breakage and splitting of the stem. To protect pumpkins from direct sunlight, shade them with burlap or other lightweight material. A plain white bedsheet covering the pumpkin with the stem exposed will also suffice. This will prevent premature hardening of the outer skin and will allow the pumpkin to reach its full genetic potential in terms of physical size. The day will finally come to harvest the giant pumpkin. With a weight of thousands of pounds, transporting them is not easy. Giant pumpkins weighing nearly 700 pounds will require a different kind of technique to move and transport them. There are several types of lift frames and belts that can be made for use with tractor-mounted loaders and front-end loaders. Smaller pumpkins can be transported in the bed of a pickup truck using a pulley system. So where are these pumpkins transported, and for what purpose? The giant pumpkins will be put on display or participate in locally organized competitions. The most famous pumpkin contest in the world is held in California, USA. This contest took place for the 50th time, and this is the pumpkin that won the championship with a weight of up to 1,237 kg, successfully breaking the world record. Previously, the giant pumpkin recognized by Guinness weighed 1,215 kilos in 2021. Do you know how this giant pumpkin was treated after setting the Guinness World Record? The pumpkin was made into a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween, and it went on to win the Guinness World Record as the world's largest jack-o'-lantern in 2022. Have any of you seen a jack-o'-lantern? Is this one giant enough? Exhibitions are also held in some European countries for farmers to display the largest and most beautiful pumpkins. Indeed, these are all very meaningful competitions for gardeners and visitors. Do you find gardening interesting, especially pumpkin gardening? Giant pumpkins not only help you feel happier, but also to conquer challenges. Try growing a pumpkin plant and taking good care of it, ensuring that you'll have many positive changes in your life.
Did you know that garlic was once shunned by British and American cultures because its pungent smell lingered even after meals? However, by the late 1900s, the United States had emerged as the garlic capital of the world. About 24,000 acres of garlic were grown each year, yielding a total of about 400 million pounds. Large-scale factories and farms were once the pride of their country. So, what happened to the industry? Why did the million-dollar garlic factories close? Join me in today's video to find out the truth. The story of garlic in America begins in the early 1890s, when immigrants from Southern Europe arrived in California's Santa Clara Valley. With fertile soil and a mild climate, garlic quickly became a staple in vegetable gardens. However, it wasn't until early 1929 that commercial garlic cultivation really took off, and the largest garlic farms were born. The garlic industry has emerged as a national phenomenon, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue for farmers. California is the largest producer of garlic in the United States, with 90% of the country's garlic grown and processed here. The smell of garlic wafts through the towns, so you can easily recognize this as a large-scale garlic processing area. In the United States, garlic is usually planted in the fall, in carefully plowed and prepared raised beds. The timing of planting is extremely important. Plant early enough so that the soil does not freeze before the root system develops, but late enough that they do not emerge from the ground. According to statistics, there are hundreds of varieties of garlic grown in the United States, but the most common on farms are California early and California late. The garlic cloves will be planted about 1.5 inches deep. On large-scale farms, garlic planting is mainly done with specialized transplanters, which optimizes time and effort. Garlic takes about 9 months to grow and is ready to harvest when 40 to 60% of the leaves turn yellow, usually around mid-July. On some farms, garlic can be harvested by hand, but modern farms today often use automated machinery for greater efficiency. From the field, garlic is cleaned and transported to the processing plant, where sorting and packaging take place. Typically, garlic is sold by the pound, by the vine, or by the bulb. However, dried garlic accounts for about 75% of garlic consumed in the United States, so dried garlic processing plants are becoming more popular. Modern high-capacity machinery ensures that garlic is supplied to both domestic and export markets. One of the largest and most famous garlic producers in the United States is Gilroy, California. It even holds an annual garlic festival to celebrate this valuable crop. And you may not know it, April 19th is that anniversary. While once the garlic capital of the world, the US garlic industry has lost that status. By 1990, Chinese garlic had flooded the US market with about 60 million pounds. This imported garlic was about 4 times cheaper than American garlic, which severely affected the industry. Although the US government raised tariffs to curb the impact of Chinese garlic, many garlic farms closed. Half of California's largest garlic packing plants have disappeared in the past decade. In just a few months, the amount of cheap garlic imported into the United States is nearly equal to the annual production of Christopher Ranch, the largest garlic packing plant in the country. In addition, a shortage of workers has caused garlic farms to shrink. Therefore, their only solution to this problem is to increase wages for workers. This also leads to increased labor costs, affecting profits and decisions to develop farms. All these factors have pushed large-scale garlic farms and factories in the United States into an unprecedented, difficult situation. garlic industry in the United States is no longer as dominant as it once was. But in this situation, farmers still find a ray of hope. New directions have been implemented to increase profits, as the average American consumes 2.5 pounds of garlic per year. One of the most popular trends today is organic garlic production. With health awareness and changing consumption habits, consumers are increasingly paying attention to the quality and safety of products. Therefore, many farms are also applying organic garlic growing techniques to meet this demand. Therefore, there are special garlic products priced up to $1 per bulb. In addition, increasing modern machinery and equipment and reducing labor are also effective ways to increase productivity and limit costs. Farms are gradually focusing on product quality. It is predicted that garlic production in the United States will continue to increase in the coming years. This is a positive signal for garlic factories to recover and develop in the future. Do you think the U.S. garlic production and processing industry will regain its glory? Please share your opinion in the comments section.